How's everybody doing? Well, good morning out there in YouTube land. Stop. You guys are fired. Hey, Wes, could you turn the heat down a little? Hey, everybody doing okay out there? I see we have Jim from Florida. What's the weather like out there? Is it pretty nice? Florida, love it. Norway, Gerhard, salute. How are you? Hello from Belgium. Wow, that's crazy. Kim from BC. Good. Andrew, how's it going? How's that guitar working out for you? Jim DeWitt, Almost Spring in Michigan. Wow, that sounds like a song title. And we have a special guest today. We're going to be doing a phone interview with. And he is, speaking of lyrics, he is the son-in-law of one of the most famous lyricists ever, and besides probably Ira Gershwin, is Yip Halberg, who, by the way, was a buddy of Ira's. And so that was Eric Hailstone's father-in-law. So we're going to be talking to him about that. Lyrics are so important, right? Yeah. So I hope everybody is doing fine. It's paradise, in Florida. Don't tell my friend that. He's got a condo there, and they're working on it. He's been itching to go there, except they've got it all torn apart. It's one of those high-rise condos. That's so pretty, right across from the ocean. Great, the guitar is working out great. Good. I'm going to try to tune this. Yeah, it's kind of in tune. Maybe not with the track. So let's see what happened this week. I had some pretty cool things happen this week. I want to show you this picture. Do you remember I showed you that ES350 of Tal Farlow's? Unless you want to get a good picture on that. This I bought off Reverb and Gibson Boy, which is, there's the album right there. I have that album that my friend gave to me. But this is an advertisement with Tal Farlow. And I just got that. Gibson Boy. And he's got a song called Gibson Boy. And it's one of those things, I've been dying to learn that song, but not enough to actually learn it. So I hope to do that someday. But Tal Farlow is a big hero of mine. Wonderful, wonderful player. Incredible. He was so into guitars, he built his first guitar. Right? Couldn't afford to buy one. But here he is, an endorsement with a ES350. This is 1957. And of course, he came out then with his own version of guitar. Boy, that's got a lot of glare on it. Let's move this over there. So Tal, by the way, a friend of mine and student who I've known for a long time gave me, his name's Sean Hunt, gave me the box set of Tal Farlow's recordings. It's like unbelievable. Wow. Holy crap. So if you could check out Gibson Boy on YouTube, and you'll hear it. It goes something like this. Whoop. No. Let me do that again. Something like that. No. Something like that. So it's a beautiful day in sunny Norway. Now, I want to go there. Actually, you know what? My son, Corey, and Wes, did you want to go to Norway?
Yeah.
He's been bugging. My other son, Corey, wanted to go to Norway for years. And so I'm thinking maybe we ought to go to Norway. Okay. Hi, Tom Johnson. What up? Best time of the week, hump day, guitar fix. Cool, you guys. Speaking of guitar fixes, I want to show you a guitar. I bought it locally. Gail's looking through Craigslist, and every once in a while, something crops up, and it's like, you know, I can't make a fist anymore. That's about as. So I have a hard time pulling out these darn chords. But anyway, check this out. This is a 1997 Gibson 175. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Gibson 175s, as you probably well know, but they have their place. And you got to appreciate them for what they are. They sound great in the band. Well, Joe Pass didn't do too bad with them. But this one is just beautiful condition. And I was just stoked. I was like, wowee. And so I picked it up. I pulled the pick guards off the pickup ring off the top. And here it is. I know, that sounds pretty darn good. I had a 62 for a long, long time. Now I see the price tags. And I go, what the heck did I do? So, Mad Months, yeah, the Months 8-track record tape players told Dick Clark, never sell your cars, never sell a car, never sell it. Put it in storage. And if he was a guitar player, I'm sure he would have said, never sell a guitar. But it's like real estate, never sell real estate. But hey, what are you going to, if you want to move, you got to sell something, don't you? So anyway, here is this guitar, and I'm going to offer it up. I just did a video on it. Yes, this one is for sale. Let me show you real quick how pretty this is. This is gold too. It's rare to get one in gold. Isn't that crazy? It's got a gold, see that truss rod cover? It's beautiful, beautiful shape. It's crazy. I put a little linseed oil on the neck, on the fretboard. Whoops. And then I raised the pickup, set the intonation, put on my string set. It's got a little bit of fret wear right down here. Just a tiny little bit. I don't think you can see that little divot. Now it doesn't matter. It plays just fine. There's no buzzing, so it's a great little guitar. Great guitar. They made the plywood tops. I call them plywood. You shouldn't call them plywood. That's insulting to call it a plywood top. It makes it sound like you went down to Home Depot and picked out a, piece of plywood and made a guitar. Asking, what am I asking? I don't know yet. It's in the 35 range. So yes, it is hey, is that Andre? Right? String Bender 57. Is that you? Good morning from Tennessee. Sweet. Anyway, lost my train of thought here. Okay, well, anyway, let's when you come back, we'll go see Eric. The guitar anyway is up for grabs or what have you. Excuse me. Tell you what, let's play something. Let's introduce Eric. Let's see that. Okay. Hey, this isn't easy. Okay, hey, let's call Eric up because we're going to talk about his father-in-law, Yip Halberg. Let's find Eric. Where is he? Eric. I met Eric. Let's see. I'm going to hold this by the mic here.
Howdy.
Hi, Eric. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So Eric is a wonderful, fantastic guitarist. We've done some. I first met you, I think, at the Christian conferences, and he is a. You work for Yamaha, demonstrating stuff and talking about all the Yamaha products, right?
Exactly.
And then now he's doing videos for Yamaha. And so are you doing, what about the motorcycles? You doing them for the motorcycles?
No.
No?
I got a giant scar on my right knee from a Yamaha motorcycle.
Okay, yeah. I got one from a Yamaha guitar. So, so Eric, so we were talking one day and he said, you know, my father-in-law wrote the lyric to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'm like, what? He said, yeah. Is that right?
That's exactly right. It's amazing. My wife and I were dating, and we're like a few months into this relationship, and she's like, Eric, you're a great guitar player and everything. I got to tell you something. She goes, you know, my grandfather was kind of a big deal in music. And she goes, his name is Yip Harburg. And I'm like, Yip Harburg. And it's like, you know, it's kind of familiar name, but it doesn't really jump out at me. So I go online and I look, and he wrote April in Paris, Buddy, Can You Spare a Dime? It's Only a Paper Moon. And then all of a sudden you see, and all the lyrics to The Wizard of Oz.
Did he write If I Only Had a Brain?
He did.
He did, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
I know he wrote, what was the other one? The Good Witch one or something like that? Or
well, every one of them. You know, If I Only Had a Brain. Of course, the big one is Over the Rainbow. And he was also, in The Wizard of Oz, they had 10 or 11 people writing dialogue. And he wrote, and he was the head of all that because he wrote the dialogue, because he wrote the lyrics. He also wrote the dialogue that led into the songs.
Wow. That's crazy. So he's, now your wife's name's Marjorie, is that right?
Marge. No, my wife's name is Marla. Her mother's name is Marge.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay. It's confusing.
Oh, yeah.
For a small mind like mine. And now that's your wife's grandfather.
Absolutely.
Okay, I was thinking, gosh, at first I thought you said father-in-law, and I'm thinking, oh, he must have had his daughter late in life. But his grandfather. So I've been reading up on him, and well, wait a minute, before we go any further, can you tell me, or tell my friends out here, the story behind the bridge of...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they're in the middle of doing, of writing Over the Rainbow. And originally it's not going to be a super prominent song in The Wizard of Oz. It's going to, I think they're going to roll it at the end of the movie when the credits are going out. But they've got the A section written. They don't have a bridge. And Harold Arlen, the composer, is driving around L.A. and he gets the idea for the da-da-da-da. And he's really excited because they've been stuck on this for them for quite a while. So he races over to Yip's house, runs over to the piano and says, I've got it, plays it, looks over at Yip, Yip looks at him and goes, I hate it. It's horrible. So they were really good friends. Yip's best friend was Ira Gershwin. And they had grown up together. I mean, there's amazing stories about these guys. They had grown up together since grade school.
Yeah,
Ira was huge in helping Yip get established as a lyricist over the years. Anyway, they would meet once a month over at George Gershwin's house, and like the greatest writers in the American Songbook would all meet over there, and they'd play each other whatever it is they were working on.
I heard Cole Porter was there, and
yeah, absolutely. And you would always bring your best because they were the best in the world,
right?
So it was common for them to do that. So at any rate, they took the bridge over and played it for George and Ira. And George and Ira looked at Yip and said, "You're crazy. This is fantastic. That this has to be the bridge. So get busy, write some lyrics." Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? Oh my gosh. So much of when people acknowledge the authorship of music, it's always about the musician that composed, like, Burt Bacharach and Hal David. You always hear about Burt Bacharach. You don't hardly hear much about Hal David. And you think those lyrics are so important. It's incredible. And the same with this, Ira and George, of course. George, Ira's under George. But then you hear like Harold Arlen and then Yip. And it's like, man, those lyrics are just crazy good. I don't know how to explain it. And they're so important. So important.
It's so interesting reading. I have since read a biography on Yip. And you go back and they're describing what their high school poetry class was like. And this is Yip and Ira Gershwin are both in the same class. And they're talking about this class, and by comparison, it sounds like a high-level college course compared to how things are nowadays. It's really kind of shocking because, you're talking about education in the 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, every decade it goes down a grade. I think, that's what I've heard.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And also that when you go back and study those, the music from the Great American Songbook, the style of the lyrics, it's really fascinating. And you see how it's changed over the years.
Yeah, yeah. So, wow, that's so cool. And you have him in your family. That's pretty amazing. So he was featured, I guess, on a stamp, huh?
I've got a whole book of stamps with Yip's face on it. Yeah, you can imagine they're big around here.
Yeah, I'll bet. And then, I was reading a couple quotes of his I thought was pretty interesting. He says, one of them was, "I doubt I could ever say I love you head on. It's not the way I think. For me, the task is never to say anything directly, and yet to say it. I think of it as a curve, so to speak."
That sounds like Yip.
Yeah.
In terms of how him as a human being and also how he wrote.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, you got a lot to step up to.
Well, I tell you, it's interesting, aside from that, who he was as a human being, and my mother-in-law and the family, and again, it's these people are come from Jewish culture, and I've never seen people that are so generous in terms of the amounts of money they give to charity, and talk about putting your money where your mouth is. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Yip was like that too. He really looked, as successful as he was, he really wanted everyone in life to have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of remarkable.
Yeah. That is awesome. I was reading about him as well, and he was blacklisted, huh? And
Yeah.
the McCarthy, or he was blacklisted from Hollywood for 12 years or something. And because his name was in some book, the Red Channels or something, and he was about as far from communist as you could possibly get, right? And this guy's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a horrible time in the history of this country, and what they did to people. And Yip was more fortunate than many because he had such a strong underpinnings in Broadway.
Right.
That, basically that blacklist took him out of the film industry, but he was able to go back to Broadway and still work in ways that other people couldn't.
Yeah. I was reading about that, Finian's Rainbow and stuff. Some of the songs that I have played many times, Old Devil Moon, April in Paris, Down with Love, It's Only a Paper Moon. I've played those songs a ton of times. And Down with Love, I think, has got one of the most coolest little lyrics. I want to read it to you real. Are you familiar with the tune, I'm sure?
I haven't heard it in quite a while, but yeah, please do.
It's like rhythm changes. Anyway, it's down with love, the flowers and rice and shoes. Down with love, the root of all midnight blues. Down with things that give you that well-known pain. Take that moon and wrap it in cellophane. Down with love, let's liquidate all its friends. Ah, the moon, the June, the roses and rainbow ends. Down with songs that moan about night and day. Down with love, yes, take it away. Take it away, take it away. Give it back to the birds and the bees and the Vietnamese. Down with eyes, romantic and stupid. Down with sighs and down with Cupid. Brother, let's stuff that dove. Down with love. I think that's a great lyric. It's so funny.
Well, it's so interesting. Obviously you can hear the time period it's written in.
Sure.
And it's simultaneously extremely corny, extremely hip, and very poetic all at the same time. He was very clever, and his lyrics, show that as well.
Yeah.
And it's, think about that. Writing as a lyricist,
Whoops.
You're probably 60, 70% of the time writing about romance.
Sure.
And there are so many cliches, and you want to use cliches, and yet you don't want it to sound cliche. I mean, it's the level of art is really, really amazing.
It is. Well, look at Eric. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. It's really nice to touch bases with you again.
Yes, let's talk soon.
And are you in Seattle, or are you in Portland?
Portland.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. You said you live right down the street from John Stoll.
Yep. In fact, I'm going to call him later today.
Well, tell John hello for me, please.
I shall.
So, we just posted on our live stream you doing the YouTube video on playing blues through a Quilter amp. So,
great.
I got Eric hooked up with Quilter. I hope Yamaha didn't mind.
No, absolutely not.
That's cool.
At the time, they didn't make a guitar amp, so.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, and let's talk soon.
All right. Take care, Rich.
All right. Bye-bye. Is that cool or what? I think it is. Okay, let's read some of these things here. Give advice on how to practice 3, 4, 6, 8 times. Try to just don't, in 3, 4 time, you can't count all the beats because it goes by so fast. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. So just count the 1, 1, 1, 1. Make sure you hit a note on beat 1. Get the idea? That's about all I got. Set your metronome just as do, 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 and you do the other counting. Same with 6/8. How does the bebop scale work in 3/4? Yeah, you know, that whole thing about the bebop scale giving chord tones on the beat is a lot of hogwash. I think it's stupid. So if anything, if you want to be hip, you don't put them on the beat. So if you want to be corny, put them on the beat. So that's if people are saying the bebop scale, you play it in, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You know, so you're just always having a note on the downbeat. It's not very hip. So anyway, okay, for me, move to Clarksville. Last train to Clarksville. Down with Love. Great movie too. Oh, I said that. Thank you, Gail. Gail's writing all those comments there, and Wes is working the room here. By the way, Wes comes out here and does this for me, and I really appreciate it. And we have a tip jar set up for Wes. If you are so inclined, please go to it and offer a little tip for him so we can make sure he comes back and does it again. All right, so let's learn a lick. You want to learn a lick? Why not? Let's do, let's go to Lick City. I'm just, that's so cool about, think about Somewhere Over the Rainbow, just that lyric. I mean, where do you come up with that? Somewhere over the rainbow. I mean, we take it for granted. We take that image, that thing for granted. But when you think about how coming up with that idea, okay, it doesn't fall out of the sky. It takes some thought. You got I think to be a good lyricist, you got to be a pretty smart person. That's why I write instrumentals. All right, this is a lick around a 2-5-1 in the key of F. And here's the lick. So what are we doing here? Look at, I've got a G minor chord, but my first line is around a F sharp augmented or D augmented. Look at it as a D augmented because that's the 5 of G. So, and referencing back with that F sharp. So even though it's not in the chord structure, the F sharp, right? In other words, if it's a G minor 7 chord, you know, technically you would think, well, I got to play a G minor 7 arpeggio. No, the line is stronger than the chords being played. That's a rule that I want you to remember. So we got. So now we're going up over the C7. We're going up an F minor 7. And look at, I'm targeting the flat 5. And so flat 5, third, sharp 9, or flat 3, if I call it flat 9, or sharp 9, then flat 9, and then that, my 5th. Makes sense? I want to show you something. Got a metronome around here somewhere. when you first go to learn something, it's so important you learn it right from the get-go. Okay, I think we've talked about this before. Picture in that your mind is like a computer, and every time you type something, it saves an autosave feature. Every word, now it's saved a copy. Type another word, saves a copy. Types another word. You make a mistake, you erase that, saved another copy. Now you've got 1,000 copies in your computer, let's say, and none of them are time stamped. None of them say when they were created, which was first. How do you know which one to go to? Same with guitar playing. Every time you screw up, you make a copy. Your brain, your subconscious doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. Your conscious does, your subconscious doesn't. Eventually, you want to get to the point where your subconscious is playing the guitar. So when we go to learn something like this lick that I just showed you, I would take this as a way of learning it. I want you to play half notes of every note. So it's going to look like this. Every keystroke, every pick stroke. All right, now what that just did is kind of really cement in your mind. You're playing in time. Here's the beautiful thing. You're playing in time. So it's not just randomly picking a note, and then playing the other note, letting time go by. You're actually playing the note in time. That's really important. Now you take it and you put it on and play quarter notes. It's going to look like this now. And now if you screw up, please, you got to play it about 4 or 5 more times the correct way so you don't screw it up anymore. Don't make a copy. Every time you make a screw-up version of this, it's another copy. Your subconscious doesn't know which one's right and which one's wrong. All right, so if you play it, keep playing it right, it's going to erase one of those copies. Now let's play it as eighth notes. Get the idea? So your brain is not only registering the correct note, it's registering the pick, how it feels, whether it's a slide, a pull-off, a downstroke, an upstroke. There's a pull-off. Pull-off, and a slide. Ah. Okay, enough of that. So, the gold rod cover looks really cool. Yeah, isn't that cool? It reflects. What gauge strings? The gauge strings that I always use are Diodario Chrome Brights extra light gauge. It comes with a 10 and a 14. I throw those away. I've got like 110 gauge strings. And what I do is I put a 13, a 15. So then I end up with 13, 15, 20, 28, 38, 48 hike. So that's the gauge I use. Now I discovered something very interesting this week. I did a video. I haven't released it yet, but we're comparing a 15-inch jazz box, 16, a 17, and an 18-inch jazz box. And if you look at the 15-inch, the tailpiece distance to the bridge from the tailpiece is about like this. It's not much room. Makes strings tighter, and which is good for bending, but not so good. But it's good for bending. That's about all it's good for. But it will make your lighter strings feel tighter. Now, when you compare that to the 18-inch, you got 4 inches between here, 4 1/4. And what happens now? You got an extra super long string. So you want to check out the distance between your tailpiece and here. Okay, the shorter it is, the tighter the string will feel. So consequently, if you have a longer string, you can put on a heavier string and it feels lighter. So this particular gauge set, when I put it on with these light strings, didn't work. It was too light on the Super Eagle. So I had to beef up those strings. I actually had to buy a bigger set. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know how, like, have you ever had a ukulele and you go to bend a ukulele string and you can bend about 1/4 like that? Just boom. It's because the strings are so short. Hi, Tom. Tom Orator. How are you, Thomas? You Mr. Guitar Collector, you crazy man. So Andre, you enjoyed that with Yip and Eric Hailstone. Check out Eric. Wonderful, wonderful player, knowledgeable cat. England's Hope. What a cool name. Do I use fast fret? I've never used that. No. Makes the strings bright again. Like to check that out. You can use those 10-gauge strings as a cheese cutter. That's true. I could. That's what I ought to do, sell them to a cheese cutter manufacturer. I've got so many of them. I keep saying I'm going to put a group of 20 and put them on eBay. And I got so many things to eBay, and it's like I don't do any of it. And what's wrong with me? Okay. Let's play a song. Camp is looking really good. Thomas, you ought to come to camp. A lot of you guys ought to come to camp. Come on, man. It's not a camp. It's a retreat, all right? I call it a camp. It sounds like you're going to be sitting in a tent playing the guitar by a campfire. No, it's a retreat. It's real beautiful. And we have classes all day and then jam sessions at night. Really fun. Anyway, things are really shaping up. Bernie's Tune, which was the first song that I played, is one of the songs that the C group is going to be working on. So we use songs to learn jazz concepts. So the second song in that group is Midnight Blue, and I think I've played it before. But I'll play it again just because. Where'd it go? Hold on here. Hold on here, Wilma. Where are you uploading the student solos for the jazz improv course? Well, it should be under at the very last one of every section. It says student videos for that particular song. What am I looking for? Midnight. M, A, B, C, D, E. Here we go. This is a cool little tune. Here we go with the head again. Something like that. That's Midnight Blue. Fun, fun song. Let's play it again. Why not? Could have been longer. What's wrong song? Never mind. What happened there? Jeez. Okay, wait a minute. Jim Rolfe is in the room. Jim Rolfe. Hello, Jim Rolfe. How's it going? Let's move ahead. Don't forget, if you like this, I know what we were going to talk about. Don't forget to, play it again. Okay, I'm going to play it again because I really wanted to do that. And so I'm going to play it again. Let's try it again. I'm not going to play the head. Well, maybe I will. Okay, let's talk about something. Where are we at? Do I have a version of Time Goes By? No, I don't. I should. Play it again, Sam. We're going to, in the technique talk today, we're going to talk about permutations of a G major seventh arpeggio. So let's think about this for a second. If I have a G major 7 arpeggio, there it is in the E shape, right? Now, basically, if I want to play the, I'm going to play it now starting on the 3rd degree. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it up here, starting with the 3rd degree on the 6th string. So now I'm going to get next notes D, F sharp, G, B, D, F sharp. So now I have so first I have, then you see that? So I'm connecting them kind of together. Now I'm going to go up and start on the 5th degree. So when I do that, so now I have a G major 7 in all those shapes. This was the E shape. This, starting on the 3rd, is the D shape, 2nd variation, as opposed to like this, you know, you would look at it like that. 3rd in the bass. And then this would be in the C shape. And then this is going to be in the, well, if we want to do the A shape, it would look like something like this. But, or you could do it in the G shape. Okay. Okay, so there is the permutations, let's say, of a G major seventh up the neck, just starting and going across the strings. Now you can do that with any chord, of course, and it gets you to know how to do that, how to play your arpeggios. So arpeggios are really, really important. For instance, when we were doing Midnight Blue, where'd it go again? When we Midnight Blue, it's F minor, G minor, that vamp, A flat. Well, that's the key of E flat. So any arpeggio in the key of E flat is going to sound cool against that chord. Watch. Here's an E flat arpeggio. Hear how different that sounds? So now let's try another arpeggio in the key. What is the chords of the key of E flat? Let's go down. How about D minor 7 flat 5? Here's what we get. There's a... Why do you do that? This band. All right, now let's do C minor. Now let's do B flat 7. So now it changes keys. So get the idea. Any of those, let me do A flat major 7. Let's do G minor 7. F minor. A flat, B flat 7, C minor, D minor 7, E flat. Voila, boom shakalaka. There you have it. May I know your string action? Low. I don't know. I can't give you a measurement, but it's low. Wes, maybe you can get in here on that and they can see that. That is low. It's almost like, do you see the distance between the first fret in the string? And now look at the 12th fret. It ain't too much difference. So yes, the action is super low. I try to get the neck straight. It's not a perfect world, so it can't always be like that. But most of most guitars made nowadays are like you can get the action really low because of machines. So anyway, all right, let's play another tune. Here's God Bless the Child. Hold on, it's my stock. Hey, Boyd, it's Rich. Boyd.
Rich, how's it going?
Good. I got to call you back.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm doing our live stream, and I answered the phone because it was you.
Oh, okay. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So he's the drummer that I grew up with, and he was also in our wedding. So I've known Boyd for a long time. It's nice to have friends that are that old. Same with like Jim Rolfe. Thanks for the lessons. Just picked up a Yamaha AE 1200. Are you a fan of these guitars? Yeah, I think those are pretty cool. And they're priced right. So, where were we? Wes? Oh, okay. Okay. You know the song God Bless the Child? Love this intro. Yeah, isn't that a cool little song? I love the Blood, Sweat, and Tears version of that. So, God Bless the Child. What a cool little tune. Billie Holiday. When she sings that song, man, it's like, I don't know. I know she's great and everything, but man, that voice sometimes, man, it's piercing. When you look back at what and how you practiced in your formative years, what advice could you give to your younger self? What should you have practiced more of, and what was rather a waste of time? Well, that's interesting because you don't like to think of yourself as wasting time. But actually, I did a course. I've been working on it, and I started it, but I called it The Right Stuff. And this is what I would have worked on had I all to do over again. But so basically the course is learning scales in one shape, a chord to go with it, or a few chords, a arpeggio to go with it, and then a lick to go with it. And that would have been a good way to do it. So you might want to check that out. Once we get our website up and going, which is not going to be too far away, it's going to be the Guitar College Library. And we have over 400 lessons uploaded now. And so you can go on there and pick out anything you want. God Bless the Child will be on there. But one of the things that when I first started, and I started learning jazz, trying to learn jazz because I didn't get it, was, I had a Telecaster, and then SG. It was actually a Les Paul 61 Les Paul, worth a ton of money now, but it looked like an SG. That's what I played in high school and stuff. I would have got the right acts early on. And then, but after we got married, I got a 175. I was taking lessons from Mitch Holder. But one of the things is I was being taught to pick like this with my shoulder over like this, like holding a gun, like shooting a gun, a rifle, and this is how you pick. And you kept your hand up here. And I guess it kind of worked for me, but the reality is I ended up with a jacked up shoulder. And so I finally came to realize after years this is how you should hold the darn thing, with a strap, get it across your body, the neck sitting up, the forearm is supported the picking hand. I like, let your fingers dangle on the pick guard, kind of give you a little distance measurement, and that's what works for me. And done my lessons, done my practicing like that. So basically, you've got three pillars of guitar playing. One is theory and technique. No, one is technique. The other's theory. The other's vocabulary. Okay, theory, you got to know what the heck you're playing. And I was lucky because when I was a little kid, taking piano lessons, we had one day of piano lessons and 1 day of theory as a group. So I started learning theory early on. Then I went to college, learned more and more of it. Technique, you study technique so you're playing correctly and playing with finesse. Also, I wouldn't have been such a stickler on always using the correct fingering, a finger for each fret within a position. I realized after a long, long time that who cares? You're better off playing things like where I'm switching back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So you're moving all around the guitar neck. And then it's vocabulary. Vocabulary is licks, solos, songs, chord melody, all that good stuff. So you got to work on all three. Now, once you get your theory down, you really understand it, you can just work on just vocabulary. So that's what I would do different. If I ever played a Bradley Ibanez, Jojo left his home in Tucson, Arizona. No, I probably have, and I've seen them. I don't know what the Bradley is, but I've had those Ibanez's before. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. You can't beat them. But mahogany necks. Okay, I want to talk about mahogany necks. The reason they make 5-piece maple necks is because they're very stable. Mahogany necks, you got to watch out. Sometimes they go all kittywampus, so you got to be. You got to make sure that neck looks really good when you buy something. Well, you guys, I think we're going to wrap it up, if you don't mind. I'm going to play one more tune before we split, cut out, make like a tree and leave, get the flock out, all of those things. And what the song is Eleanor Rigby, done up tempo. That's my old friends from playing music, playing the track from Fresno, Roy Carlson and Gary Newmark on drums. Anyway, hey, I will, let's see, any other comments, anything else we need to, thanks. I got a 3-piece maple nut. Bradley was another branding for imported pre-serial number Ibanez. Okay, good. Cool. I'm glad that, I'm sure that'll serve you well. That's good. You know, if it's 175, one thing about this, with a laminate top, it's very stable. It's very, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so it's, you know, that's why they made those. So when they fall off the bus, they don't go to pieces. I will talk to you later. Thank you for visiting us. I really appreciate it. And look for an email. Get on our email list. Look for an email regarding signing up for the new library. Please do it. You'll enjoy it. Thank you again. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.